What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and the host of HBCU Pulse Radio, in the building for another special edition of the show on today, where we do this every year. We've done this since really 2022, but on Sirius XM since 2023. We're talking about homecoming, and I got some things to talk about as I went to my homecoming on October 4th, Fort Valley State University. Had a really great time, but I left with some questions and some discussions that I wanted to have on radio podcasts. Maybe some folks give me some answers. I have Kiya Wimbush-Robinson in the building, Virginia State University alumna, and also a writer for HBCU Pulse and ClutchPoints. Kiya, how you doing today?
I'm good, Randall. How are you?
I'm good. So, I had my homecoming on October the 4th. You have yours coming up as we record. This is going to be on next week, right?
Yeah, I actually got both of them on because I also went to Norfolk State University. So both of my homecomings are on the same weekend. So
how you gonna manage that?
The thing is, I'm not even going to
you're not going to both of them or one of them? What
I'm not going to either of them. I might be in Atlanta visiting a friend. So
okay,
homecoming will not see me this year, unfortunately.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Let me ask this though, because I think this is a great starting point. Okay, will you be watching the game?
Is this a safe space?
This is an HBCU space. So with the answer I think you're gonna give, I think is very safe.
I wasn't even watching the game when I was a student. I was at the tailgate.
My God. Why? So why? Because my thing is this, right? So me being a sports fan, and for a point in time in my life, of course, we do sports journalism, but like me being, wanting to be a sports journalist, be on that Stephen A. Smith swag before he started doing the stuff he's doing now. Like, I wanted to, be in sports. So, like NBA is like life for me. Like, football is life for me. So like when I got to Fort Valley, of course it's D2 and a lot of people look down on D2, but I'm like, man, like I want to tap in and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. I hear this sentiment a lot when it comes to like, football, especially when it comes to HBCUs. Why didn't you go to the game? I know you're at the tailgate. Why didn't you go to the games? Because Virginia State has been really good.
Yeah, Virginia State like that. Virginia State is very much like that. I can't speak for my second HBCU, but I will say, I honestly feel like the reason why I never I think my freshman year I went to the football game, but like after that, me and my friends were like, oh, like it's just a football game. And we really just like love going to a tailgate because like some of my friends, like their families had tents, or like some of like our friends that had graduated, they were there 1 year. And honestly, once you stop being a student, them tickets are a little expensive. They're like $40-$50. So it's like when you get to the point where it's like, okay, cool, I'm really here to like reconnect, I can catch the highlights somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, let me ask this. Do you catch the highlights? Do you?
I do. Cause like, I have little rivalries like with like my brother, like some friends. So like I'll always like tap in. So depending on who we play, I'll always like look. Cause even like the VSU versus Norfolk State game, I wasn't there, but because it was VSU versus NSU, I was like paying close attention. We're not gonna talk about that game because they had me stressed. But so it just really depends on the vibe. So like I don't really go to the games. Even when I was at NSU, because I was a grad student, me and my friends never really went to games. I think we went to like one maybe, but that was about it.
Listen, we're talking about homecoming at HBCUs. We just talked about the game. So let's talk about the fellowship, right? So, homecoming is homecoming, and homecoming means essentially you're coming home. Homegoing means you're leaving. Okay. So if you're coming home, that would typically mean that you're not home. So that really means to me, Kiya, as someone that we write, for a living. So it's like homecoming means you're coming home. That means alumni are coming to their institution. However, there is a contingent of people for some reason that are anti-homecoming in such a way that they believe when you 20, 21, you should go to homecoming. when you 29, 30, you should be having a family or something. I don't know, because we have this person here, their at name, I'm calling to say their at name, user 101, because we want to cite them, journalism, 32 going to college homecomings, bro, give it a rest. And this young lady, Jasmine XETH, she said, I feel like people who say this went to PWIs because at an HBCU, she said A is actually N. Okay, I got my glasses on. At an HBCU, I got my glasses on for the radio audience. At an HBCU, it's quite literally a family reunion. Age is irrelevant. Okay, and I gotta be smart. I got my smart glasses on for the folks listening. Okay, so I gotta ask you this, Kiya. So, what is your take on this? Do you think that you're too old for homecoming at some point? Does it get weird at a point?
Absolutely not. When I was like in undergrad, like at Virginia State, I was at homecoming. I met alumni who were in their 50s, 60s, 70s. One year I met someone who was in their 90s. She was orange and blue to the socks. And there's like, when people say that going to a HBCU is like an experience, like it's a very niche experience that some of us are very privileged enough to like experience, because like it's not just like going to school, and like we have so many like other experiences that truly like bond us together. So I personally don't feel like there's an age limit on going to homecoming, and people like, oh well, go start a family. People be there on the yards with their strollers with their kids, like, because it really is like a family thing. These are people that you at one point in time saw every single day. And as you get older and as you graduate, you all go like into your everyday lives, like doing other stuff. People move across the country, people lose touch. So like homecoming really is like a family reunion. Like, so I feel like the whole, oh, you're too old to go to homecoming is very irrelevant. And if you've never experienced the HBCU homecoming, I just feel like you should sit that conversation out. That's just my, 2 cents. But
What's so interesting? So I think that in our society, I'll just say American society, I think that we like to express like our level of intelligence or experience over people. And I think the way that you see it, because you see it a lot of different ways, but the way that you see it is through age. Like people like to play age games, and we've talked about it before. We talked about it when we talked about the Freaknik documentary, right? About how people play age games when it comes to those things. I think that people play weird age games when it comes to the traditional roles of like men and women, like what a man's supposed to do, what a woman's supposed to do, but also when it comes to age. If you have a hobby that is legal, that where you enjoy that experience, you're never too old for it. Because I hear often, for example, oh, you still play video games? You're too old. Like literally, D'Angelo, who's actually one of my favorite artists, passed away. You know something I found out that I did not know in people paying tribute to him? He was playing video games. Like he had one of his best songs called Unshaken was in Red Dead Redemption 2 at one of the penultimate points of that video game. And I'm like, well, I heard that song. I didn't know he was actually into playing Red Dead Redemption. He was in his 40s at that point. He's going to Rockstar's office playing the video games. Like people play video games. Listen, if you're of age, be interested in what you're interested in. But I feel like people safeguard what you are and aren't supposed to do in general based on age so much, and it irks me. But for this specific thing, I think I'm trying to shoot some bail for the people. I'm trying to make sure that their voice is heard. Okay, homecoming is also a student experience. It is because I think what people miss is, yes, homecoming is the game. Homecoming is the tailgate. Homecoming is the step show. The step show's on Friday. The alumni coming back. But there is, and as a student leader, I can attest to this, a student component of homecoming. The concert, the pep rally, the gospel concert, the events that SGA or Campus Activity Board is putting on. I think people, Kiya, they're conflating the two. They're conflating the homecoming concert that SGA or an activity body at the HBCU comprised of students. They're conflating that with homecoming itself, saying, why are you at this student event? When it's like, no, homecoming is all of it.
yeah. And I think like it's one of those things like if you really don't know, like, you really don't know. And I know that might sound like, what? But it's like, if you really don't know what goes into like a HBCU homecoming, like, just looking at it like from a surface level, it's not just that Saturday with the game and the tailgate. It's a week long of events, like you just said. So, like, from a student perspective, when I was a student, we had the whole entire week. It was basically like from like a Sunday to a Saturday. So there's like socials, like you said, there's the concert, there's like pep rallies, there's all this other stuff. So like there's like a whole plethora of events simply just for students. You may have some alumni who may live close to the area to like attend some of the events. Cause I know when I was in school, that sometimes, depending on who we have for the concert, I would see alumni there. There's still, but that's still like nothing wrong with that. It would just be like going to like a concert anywhere else. But like you said, homecoming is literally like coming back home. It's simply for the alumni. And I feel like, honestly, when it comes to age, you're absolutely right. Like, oh, well, you're too old to be doing that. And I feel like that honestly sucks like the fun out of life. Because like you said, as long as you're not doing like anything illegal, life is already hard enough, so it's nice to have hobbies that like are whimsical, that you can like relax and enjoy yourself. Like, I'm 27, and like this year I really got back into like coloring. Like, coloring really like is my thing. Like, it helps me relax, and also like I'm starting to get into like Legos. Like, and Legos are technically for children, but like I like doing it because it helps me relax, and like I'm 27, so like it helps me like with like the everyday stress of life. So, like you said, as long as you're not doing anything illegal, you need hobbies to like help you de-stress and have fun. And even though homecoming isn't a hobby, it's a time where you can have fun and de-stress and reconnect with people you probably haven't seen like in years. So I feel like if you really don't know everything about like homecoming and HBCU homecoming specifically, then you can't really give like a accurate analysis, I feel, because like I said, it's not just for students, and there's not like a cutoff point. Like I said, I met someone who was in her 90s at homecoming. That's almost probably grandma, great great grandma. You and her go in the house, and honestly, like, it's such a beautiful thing to see someone still have so much school spirit at that age. Like, she's in her 90s, so like I love seeing older alumni, and it's like they have so much wisdom. They can tell you how like just how like we can tell like the students who go to our HBCUs now how the school has changed. Like, since we were there, they're doing the same thing at homecoming, but this time you just have somebody tent with a plate of fish. So it's like the same thing. So like I said, if you really haven't experienced an HBCU homecoming or really knows like what it is in its entirety, then you really can't give like an accurate analysis on what people should and should not be doing.
I think that's real. And if you're just joining us, we're speaking about just the homecoming experience. I have Kiya Wimbush-Robinson in the building, HBCU Pulse and ClutchPoints writer, also Virginia State University alumna and Norfolk State University alumna, but she went to Virginia State first. Okay. Y'all say Little State for Norfolk State? Little State?
Very little state.
Very Little State. Okay.
I don't care what nobody say. Norfolk State will always be a little state.
Even when Michael Vick there, Little State.
Yeah, he ain't changing nothing. And I love Michael Vick. For me not to be a sports girly, he's one of like the few football players that I like know and actually like and know like a little bit about his stats and everything. I'm a very big Michael Vick fan. But Michael Vick ain't changing history. Michael Vick is not changing them being Little State. That's just me.
That's real. And listen, we're going to have a segment coming up where we're doing the build your own concert exercise that we do on HBCU Pulse. We've literally done this since 2022. So we're going to be doing that soon. So as we're talking, I'm trying to crunch the numbers. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how I can make sure I don't go over a budget. And Kiya, I think I have the lineup. You're going to hear the line. I feel like you're going to like the lineup, but we're going to talk about that in a second because we have to talk about this. So I had an amazing time at Fort Valley State University's homecoming. That's my HBCU. And I saw a lot of people that I haven't seen literally since I was a student. Because you have some folks, that, were older when you were on the yard. And, they graduate. Some folks graduated 2016, 17, 18. Of course, I graduated 19. I'm seeing folks that, came after me or that were my orientation, that were my freshmen during orientation week, right? All these different things. And like, my thing as someone that is about to turn 30, I'm turning 29 on Christmas Day. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to connect with people in my age group, because we always heard that, hey, like, college is the best 4 years of your life, because one of the reasons why is you're on this campus with so many folks, especially at an HBCU, that look like you, share your same experience, same motivations, and things like that. And I often heard about the network and the connection that comes with it. To be honest, I know a lot of people. I've done business with a few people, but as far as the personal side, no, I don't feel like I have a personal connection with people I met at Fort Valley. Not a lot of them, and especially people I met out in the HBCU community, going to NASAP, the Student Leadership Institute, going to other HBCUs, doing this HBCU Pulse thing. I don't feel like I had that. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I want to go to homecoming and see what it is. I'm gonna go to the tailgate. Normally, I don't really go to the tailgate like that because I'm at the game. I watch the game, so I'm watching the game. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the tailgate, and I'm seeing so many people. But the conversations, not to criticize them, were very much hi and bye, hug, bye. So in my mind, I'm like, how do I reconnect with people that I went to college with, that I might have been really solid with? We could be good adult friends. How do I even reconnect with them if it's very surface level? And one thing I noticed, Kiya, is Black women, one thing y'all gonna do is make friends. Okay, y'all just want go on trips and make friends. So I want to ask you, Kiya, for your advice. How can a Black man or anybody, like, find that community? Is it hard to find that community? What is homecoming really for, Kiya?
You are so funny. And for you to say Black women easily make friends, it's very true. And I remember one year, my friend Jordan, so like every year for homecoming, like one of my at home friends like would come for homecoming with me. And this one particular year, this was also like the first time my mom and my aunt came for homecoming. I think it might have been my last one. My friend Jordan had came to visit with me, and I wasn't like in a whole bunch of like student orgs or anything. Like I wasn't in SJ or anything like that, but I was a very social person. So I knew a lot of people. So like we're walking in the yard and like every 2 minutes I'm like, hey, like the hey you do like when you haven't seen no one, like, you sitting there chatting it up. And then like it just kept on happening. And my friend was like, dang, you know everybody. And it's just cause like when I was in school, like I was that person. Like I'm a very like open and friendly person. And like some of my friends, like I still have to this day, like we'll talk about like our experiences in college and like how we became friends. And they'll be like, Kiya, I have no idea like how we even became friends because I literally just started talking to people. And that's something depending, and it also depends on the person if they have that type of energy. Because like if I meet somebody, whether it's at homecoming or whatever, like if they have good energy and I can see that we're vibing, it kind of opens up this door for us to like be like more friendly. And even like people I went to like school with, like I haven't seen like in a long time. Like honestly, I feel like it's a two-way street because you can have like that open and like that open energy that want like the longing to connect. But if that person doesn't, it's gonna be kind of hard because a lot of people now like they come to homecoming and really just see like their friends or like their line brothers, line sisters, whatever. So it can be kind of difficult. Honestly, in my just like my personal opinion and my personal experience, it's just kind of having having that group of friends like that you already like pre like linked up with, like, all right, cool, these are people you still talk to. All right, so we're gonna go to the tailgate together, we're gonna go here together, because it kind of makes it a little bit more easier to navigate through the crowd, because some of your friends might not be their friends and some of their friends might be your friends, and they might see each other, and then y'all just sitting there just chopping it up, and then now you have friends, you know what I'm saying? And that was like a lot of my experience, not only at homecoming but also in undergrad as well. Like I was in a social work when I was in undergrad, and one of my sisters, her dad had a tent, and me and my friends and my sisters, we was just sitting there. Her dad had like cooked for us and everything, and like this group of like boys had walked by, and I forgot how they ended up talking to my friend's dad, but he ended up like inviting them to the tent, and we ended up like chopping it up for like 2 hours. So like I didn't know them boys, like they went to VSU, but I ain't never like I might have seen them in the yard, but we ain't never like talking nothing. So it's just like little, like homecoming really is like, despite some people's attitudes, it really is a chance to connect, and not just like with people that you were like in your class with. It could have been someone like who was in an organization that you were in years ago, and like y'all might live in the same city, and y'all might work like in the same sector or something, and now like y'all can connect too. So homecoming really is about connecting. But for someone who's looking to reconnect with people, I say the easiest thing is to, and this might sound like counterproductive because you want to kind of like branch out and meet people whether you knew them already or not. If you have like one or two or like a solid group of friends you had in college, y'all be a group and then y'all work the campus together and y'all go to different tents. Or me and my friends are good for, hey friend, don't know the person's name, hey friend, but next thing you know, you got a plate, you got a cup, you got whatever, and you never know like where it may take you. I remember when I was at homecoming at NSU at a food truck, and I have never seen this person a day in my life, and the line was like really, really long. And she was like an alumni from like way before me. And she was like, if I give you some money to get my food, I'll buy your food. Is that okay? I said, yes, ma'am. I'm a grad student at this point. I'm struggling. So it's just like little stuff like that. She bought my food. I told her thank you. We ended up talking. So like it's little stuff like that. It's really, I won't say it's easy to connect, but homecoming is a great place to build those connections, whether they are with like people you went to school with or like new people. Because homecoming just isn't for like students and alumni. People from other schools come to homecomings as well. So like you can meet a person from Texas Southern or from Delaware State. Like, so it's not just about connecting with people in like your HBCU realm. It can also be a chance to like connect with people from like other schools as well.
I think that's real. And you had the whole entire plan laid out. Maybe one day I'll follow that plan because it's just like for me, I I guess so because what I'll say is that homecoming for me this year, it was very like fulfilling because when I was in the line, so we're going because like Fort Valley this year they had it, and I'm actually glad they had it like this. Although I understand with some issues where you have to essentially buy a ticket to get into the game and the tailgate. And while people complained about it, I think that it helped the homecoming stay safe because essentially like you can't get back out like you this area with the tailgate, the vendors, the game, the student center, you cannot get out, so you can't go do whatever, right? So we're in the line. My family and I we're in the line. My brother goes to Fort Valley now. He's already there, like he's on campus. So we're coming in and I'm in the line. I see people that I already know, right? So we're in the line. I'm just sort of waiting. I have my smart glass. These not these that I have on. I have the Ray-Ban Metas on for folks that are listening. But like I had some TikTok shop smart glasses on, so I'm listening to music as I was standing in the line. It's a guy that came up to me, and I honestly I don't I think I know him, but I don't recall his name, and I feel bad because I don't. But he said, hey, you Randall Barnes? I'm like, yeah, I'm Randall. I'm sorry we think it's some smoke. I'm like, oh my god, like because I've dealt with that in my HBCU Pulse years. I'm not gonna lie to you. Thought it was like some smoke, like, but he was like, man, I see the work you doing online, man. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm tapped in. I'm watching you, and I'm like, wow, like, that's crazy, man. You dap me up, like, man, I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. Like, I'm literally in line. Like, I'm not no celebrity. Like, what you say? Like for a split second, because honestly, like doing this HBCU Pulse thing, sometimes it can get a little, like I'm not a rapper. Yeah, I'm not a rapper, but there have been instances in which it gets like boom, like you know what I mean. So you got to be on go a little bit, but I got affirmed in that moment, and it was in front of like a line of people too. That was like, hey man, keep doing your thing. I'm like, oh man, I appreciate it. And then I saw someone else that follows me on Twitter, and she sees the stuff I put up about the WNBA and sports and all different stuff like that, and she's like, man, I remember you were building up HBCU Pulse, you doing your thing. Like it was really affirming, to go out. I think that's great, but a part of me wants the affirmation, but a part of me also at the same time wants that connection. And I cannot speak for all Black men, but I do think that for me, knowing all these people, I'm like, how do I know all these people? And all these people follow HBC Pulse, know HBC Pulse, all the different things. And I don't be talking on the phone with nobody. I ain't used FaceTime since like 2023. I don't even know my FaceTime work. Okay, it's weird to me. I don't know if it works, Kiya. Well, I remember once you FaceTime me, it did ring, so it did.
Randall, that is so crazy. That's crazy. But no, like I definitely get it. Yeah, you made me forget. I was about to say, I'm sorry. That was too funny. No, but like I definitely understand that. Because and it's great that you're admitting that you do want connection, because I feel like for a lot of Black men in general, they act like they don't need anybody. Like, oh, like I'm good at that. Like, no, like we were put on this earth to connect with each other. So it's really nice to see that you're like, yeah, like I wouldn't mind like having some friends. Like I want to FaceTime. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I think honestly, like when it comes to homecoming specifically, since that's what we're talking about, I think, like I said, the easiest way is to start off with someone that you already know. So, and no shade to the fam, because like when my mom and my aunt came, I said, y'all good? I think my niece was there. This is before she was in college. I said, y'all good? They was like, yeah, we do our own thing. I was in the yard. So like when you're in that setting, like you find someone that you already know, like this could be a close friend or like y'all cool, and y'all, like I said, y'all work together. So like your friend might have been in, a fraternity or a sorority or like another org, and then they have like chapter members and like other members visiting or whatever the case might be, or family or whatever. So you're introduced to like this new pool of people. So the way my friends that I did, because like I said, I'm not gonna say like my friends like you're Miss Popular, and I'm not trying to sound like that, but I will say I was like a very sociable and well like person. So like how me and my friends, like we have a plan for homecoming, like especially if we're going to be at BSU, we'll say we'll go because like we know people in different organizations. So we'll be like, okay, we're gonna go to the Alpha tent, and then we're gonna go to the Q tent, and then we're gonna go to whatever social org, because sometimes social orgs have tents as well, and that's how we like move. And then no matter what space that we're in, we're not just talking to the people from those organizations. We, because they, are on the same type of time. Homecoming, people be out cooking. So like you might be saying that to a person who's not an alpha, who's not a Q, who's not whatever, but they know someone in the organization and they got a plate of food. And now y'all talking about how the bros make the best chicken. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's so many like ways that you can possibly connect. And I know like we have to keep this like PG. And like there's some things that go on homecoming. They be like, oh, like what's in your cup? Why is your cup empty? So it's like that's like another way too. And what's so funny? They be like, don't take drinks from strangers, but that does not apply at homecoming.
So here's my thing, because let's talk. This won't be on the Sirius XM show, because let's talk about that. I don't drink, I don't smoke. That I've never been drunk. I never smoked before. I have asthma, so that probably would not be a good thing, Kiya. I know.
I'm sorry.
It probably wouldn't be a good thing, Kiya, if I was like, oh, I'm gonna smoke. All of a sudden, I just, you know what I mean?
I'm trying, Randall. You wasn't make me cut up on this show. You're funny. I got asthma.
It is the truth. It's like me hitting something, and then I get my inhaler. That's not gonna be a good look. I'm not gonna get a lot of friends like that.
You are wheezing. No,
because I was wheezing enough trying to walk to the homecoming. Kiya, because let me tell you, because listen, we gotta go. But let me just say this: this ain't gonna be a serious show. Okay. I get the reserve park, and my family wants to go because my brother goes to the Fort Valley now, so they want to be in the mix at Fort Valley. So I'm like, I'm cool with that. So we trying to go. We went to the Clark Atlanta game. We want to go to like the classic this weekend. We're not going to that classic, but we want to go. and we're definitely probably going to the Fountain City Classic. So that with Albany State. So like they wanted to come. So I'm like, okay, so I'm buying the tickets. Bought my parents tickets. My brother getting in free. He gonna do his own thing anyway. So I'm like, hey, we gonna kick it. So I bought the tickets. I bought parking passes. The reserve parking was gone. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got general parking. So I had to work, because ClutchPoints I had to work. So, I was doing my little work thing. And then I'm like, well, I'm going on a work trip, okay, to the homecoming game. So we get there and every road is blocked off. So I'm like, yo, I got the tickets to park. So like, let's go to where we're supposed to park. They were like, no, we gonna go to this yard and park in this yard and pay to park in this yard. So we literally are walking. The walk there, I'm good. I got my TikTok smart glasses. We cool. Okay, I got the music going. I'm listening to Bryson Tiller's new album. We cool. Okay.
Fire.
So yeah, that's the first side. So I'm listening. So the walk back was the problem. My back hurting. I got to stop because I can't breathe. So it's just like we just walking, and I gotta put on some uplifting music to go. I put on Pastor Mike Big. I don't know if you heard that song. I'm walking, it's gonna be big. Like your future is big. My future is getting in the car. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like
Randall, you are so funny. But when I tell you that's real, because that's the he used to get hit with a RICO. Campus is parking during homecoming. Yeah. Because why? Just why? Just why? But that's real, because like you walk in, you definitely getting your steps in. You at least a good 80, because you be hitting the pavement. But that's real, Randall. You're so funny.
And as a matter of fact, now that you mentioned that, let me get my stats. Okay, let me see. Oh, we go figure out what my stats were. Okay, wait a minute. Well, I'm gonna get my stats, and I'm gonna let you know what my stats were because I had my Apple Watch. Okay, I don't know if it's too much to wear smart glasses and an Apple Watch, but I will do it. Okay, because I don't got it like that. I'm not getting the meta displays. So I got these regular Ray-Bans, and then it's gonna be the Apple Watch with me. I'm gonna figure out we gonna do this next exercise. I'm gonna figure out what my steps were, and I'll let you know. But to get back to the drinking point, all right. And I might be alone on this island. Like I said, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I don't understand the infatuation in college culture and homecoming culture with getting drunk. I don't get it. And I'm not trying to be elitist, this snobby. Oh, I don't drink. I'm not trying to be holier than now. I'm not saying I have not drank before. I've never gotten drunk. But when I went to Tybee Island in Savannah for NASAP, that alcohol slushy was good. It was. I almost got seconds, but I didn't. I had to remember that this is not the mall. This is like a bar. Like, if I get seconds, we got a problem. Okay, so
you never want to link up with me. I'm gonna have you drinking cold water.
No, I'm gonna be drinking water, and I'll drink a sparkling water.
Link up with me and my friends because we gonna be having you lit.
No,
but as someone who does drink sociably, and it's so crazy, like when I was a freshman at VSU, I didn't start drinking until I want to say probably like my second semester sophomore year, because I was so like, honestly, I was in the books. As you know, it's college as you should be. Like, I was like, no, I can't go to this party. No, I can't drink. Da, da, da. Like, so once I kind of like caught my rhythm, I wasn't getting drunk like every weekend or nothing like that. And I've never been like blacked out, nothing like that. Have you seen a video of the boy at Jiho who was on the yard, who was laid out in the grass?
I've not seen that.
Yeah, it was a boy, and my boy had fun. He was laying up in the grass. But I feel like, and this is just like my loose interpretation, as far as like drinking at homecoming, maybe doing some other things at homecoming, I guess it's because like maybe this is a time for you to like let loose and have fun. And while you can have fun without doing those things, sometimes like for some people it might enhance their idea of fun. And I'm not promoting anyone to drink by far, but I honestly just look at homecoming as a time where you like can let your hair down. You can just chill. And that goes for both like students and alumni or whoever else is coming. Students, you ain't got no like well, at least like on the weekend portion and sometimes even during the week portion as well. Cause I had teachers in undergrad, they knew it was homecoming week. They'll still make us come to class, sign a little roll, y'all can go. Those are my favorite teachers. So we're mostly talking about like that Saturday, the game, the tailgate. You really ain't got no worries. Like you just sitting there chilling. You got depending on who you got a good plate of food. You might have got some food from a food truck, and you really just sitting there having fun and vibing. So I feel like people wanting to get lit during homecoming, it just kind of goes into like the theme of having fun and letting loose, and not saying like I said that you have to drink or do other things to have fun and let loose, but for college kids and for some adults that is involved in like them having fun and letting loose. Like it's kind of like going to happy hour after work, except happy hours on the weekend. You know,
Going happy hour after work, but happy hours on the weekend. Okay, that's a
that's like their version like happy hour. You know what I'm saying? Because someone might work 6 days a week and work 12-hour shifts. You know what I'm saying? Like single mom who works 2 jobs, loves her
yeah.
kids, never stop. So
So the
homecoming,
happy hour is after they get off.
yeah,
The happy
like
hour is daily. A daily happy hour.
the thing is, you never been to happy hour.
No, I don't. No, I don't like. I've been to happy
But
hour
listen,
like
happy hour isn't
at a
just like
restaurant. You know,
yeah,
like
like you can get food deals at happy hour too. But normally when someone like goes to happy hour, like they'll grab a drink after work, like to like decompress. So like say if you are not a happy hour type of person, homecoming might be your version of happy hour. So like I said, you might work 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts, but this Saturday at Fort Valley State, I'm about to get turned up. You know what I'm saying? So like me, I'm gonna turn up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that might just be like their one little window to really like let loose and have fun. But like I said, having fun letting loose does not require that. You can definitely, depending on who you are and your friends, me and my friends, we don't gotta get drunk because we're just a good time, period. But for some people, that might just be their idea of having fun and letting loose. Now, it does get to a point where you all passed out all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know what you're doing. But as long
but
as you chill, then
that's the part that's so weird to me though. Is like I don't understand the drink till you pass out portion of it, especially because especially when it comes to safety. And particularly it's especially with women, but like even with men, I don't understand like why you want to be drunk or inebriated to a point where use my words where inebriated to a point where like you on the ground passed out, like you gonna wake up no wallet. Like he not now, like you don't get then imagine someone is like in my mind, I'm like, someone they get so drunk they pass out. They wake up, their wallet's gone.
yeah, like that's like I feel like as someone who does drink socially, like there are like limits. I can honestly say, even with me being in college, I've never gotten blacked out because first and foremost, I have anxiety. I don't like feeling like I'm not in control. So even when I do, like partake in drinking, I know where I am. I know my name. I know what I'm doing. Like, cause it's like my mom always taught me, especially when it came to me doing things, oh, it's not you I don't trust, it's other people. So like I trust myself. Even the people I'm with, I trust them as well. But sometimes things are out of our control. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I never get to a point where I'm like blacked out. I can't tell you where I am, where I'm like even like when it comes to me driving, like don't drink and drive, like none of that. So it's like there's definitely limits to certain things and not even down to like the wallet. There are some things that you and I both know that could potentially happen, whether you're male or female. Because regardless of whatever your intention is, your intention it could be like, oh, I just want to have fun with my girls. I just want to have fun with my dudes, like whatever. But there's really people out here that mean no good. And so it's like you definitely. My dad always told me keep your head on the swivel, regardless of whatever you're doing. So like, I'm all for if you want to get drunk during homecoming or whatever, do that. Like have fun, do you? But as long as you're safe, that's like that's like what I stress it. Even my niece who's now in college, and it's so crazy because like my niece and I are 8 years apart, and she goes to Norfolk State, and I was like, wow. And we were at like I went to homecoming last year, and she was there, and like I'm her auntie, and then my brother ever hear this? This is AI, but I'm her aunt, I'm her auntie, so I'm like. I'm your Uncle Elroy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was like, oh, do you want something? But my niece, that's not her. She don't drink, she don't smoke. And like I respect her wishes. Like, if that's not what you want to do, that's not what you want to do. But if you are gonna partake in those type of activities, you just have to be safe because you can only control you. You can't control other people. So it's like you want to have a certain level of consciousness so that if something were to pop off, you can kind of like get yourself together. Because like, will someone like, and it's sad that this has been happening. Will somebody start shooting or something on campus? You gotta run. You don't want to be sitting there just standing around, you know what I'm saying? Because you too lit. So like, I feel like there's definitely like, even though homecoming is a time for you to like relax with your friends, chill, let your hair down, there's still a level of responsibility that you should have, not only for yourself, but for the people around you.
That's real. And let me say this, and I don't know if my brother would want me to say this, but listen, I'm gonna say it. My brother like literally saved like two young women that were like blacked out, like drunk. And I'm gonna tell you how that led me to get my meta glasses. Okay, tell you what he did. Tell you what he did. Tell you what he
You and
did.
your glasses are killing me.
Let me tell you what he did, Kiya. Okay, so I don't want to say the phrase, but you say "hey, boom," and it does what it does. I don't want to make it do it right now. So so according to him, it's like one of the young women were like, they were like, going through what they were going through, and they were like, "Yo, what's going on? What's going on?" He asked his glasses, "What are the signs of alcohol poisoning?" And the young lady, really both of them, exhibited signs of alcohol poisoning, and he was able to help them, even though the
Hey,
people around him did not appreciate that. He probably saved their life at homecoming.
yeah.
Okay. And when I heard that, I'm like they Facebook need to hire him. Because that I was like, you know what?
Mark Z, I got so much for you.
I
I
was like, you know what? I'm getting
yeah.
some of these glasses ASAP. And you know what I did when I got the bootleg ones? I did a simulation of what would happen with him. I asked my glasses, what are the signs of alcohol poisoning? And it
You're
told me.
funny. You are so
I was
funny. You're so funny. I really want you to know that. But shout out to your brother for real, because not only did he like step in and like when he saw someone needed help, like how old is your brother? Like what
my
class?
brother's 18. He's 18.
Yeah, so like 18-year-olds, like legally they're adults, but something I always say, they're still kids. The frontal lobe does not develop until you're 25. So it's like for 18-year-olds, like, oh, I'm 18, I'm having fun. So for him in that moment to take, some action and, some type of responsibility, even though he wasn't the one that was like, you know what I'm saying? Like he really, because people act like getting drunk and having alcohol poisoning are like the same thing. And I have a quick story about alcohol poisoning. I've never had alcohol poisoning, but the first time I can say that I was ever drunk, it was so bad. Like my stomach hurt so bad. And I just remember because, unfortunately, I was not of age. And all I remember was just being so sick. And the first thing in my mind was like, oh my God, I have alcohol poisoning. I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. They're gonna call my mom. And I was in my room by myself because I just knew my mom was going to yell at me. But I just slept it off. I had me a nice little ginger ale and some crackers. I was good. But no, shout out to your brother.
Wait, so
Shout,
you had ginger ale? So the ginger ale worked?
yeah. People are like, oh, I don't drink soda, ginger ale, so that's medicine.
Clearly. And I'm tell you what, Kai, if you had these
Ginger ale
glasses,
is,
you would have known that you had alcohol poisoning. You could have asked. I
first
feel
of
like
all,
asking right now.
I never have alcohol poisoning. I was a little lit. Never had alcohol poisoning. But yeah, the little ginger ale. Anytime my stomach, even if I haven't been drinking, my stomach don't feel right. Give me a nice little ginger ale, nice little saltine. Mine coming from the old school. You know what I'm saying? Nice little ginger ale, some water, some crackers, you'd be good. I was straight after that. But I was like, it was but that was like my first time ever having like physical like symptoms of me like feeling sick. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have alcohol poisoning. I was like, okay. I'm like, girl, just calm down.
like this is for the YouTube people and the podcast people. Serious XM, of course, is not going to hear this, but this was a really great segment because we keep it real, and I think that's really a real thing. I will also say this when it comes to the connecting point is that, and we'll move on, is that I think that what sometimes hampers men when it comes to connecting is that a lot of men only look at connecting with women from a relationship standpoint. For me, I don't look at it like that. At a point in time when my frontal lobe was definitely not developed, oh my gosh, I did because I was trying to be like my homeboys. I was trying to get the women like my homeboys or whatever. I was trying to be like, like I was trying to be that guy. I mean, like I might not be the guy you walk by. Oh my gosh, might not be me. Okay, but at the same time, I was trying to be that nine field player, like trying to be like, oh, women. But like as someone that has grown and has experienced loneliness, someone that experienced like, man, like I'm just here working, and then I go play the video game. I'm not too old to play that. Like it's like the connection portion to me isn't like, oh, I want a relationship. The connection portion is connecting with somebody about what is going on in life, like what's happening in politics. Oh my gosh, I have a lot to say about that. Okay, like and like what's going on. Let's talk about power and how bad last season was. Because Power two ended badly. So it's like I would have been talking about it. So it's like that's the connection that I was looking for and that I've looked for. And what I will say is that, and this is my first time actually saying this, is when it comes to the connecting point as well, I sort of wanted Homecoming to be sort of that moment where some of the folks that I fell out with, or some of the folks where like things didn't go right, or maybe I ghosted them. I'm like, we in the same place. If you don't feel away, I don't feel away. Let's converse about it. And I'm like, you know what? Because there's people that like that because like some people you went to school with, you might not see them at homecoming, or if they're at homecoming, they'll be there, you'll be there, you won't see them. There's people that because of my lifestyle as a student leader, I fell out with. I don't speak to anymore. I realized with reflection, with therapy, I was wrong. I hurt that person. I would enjoy that friendship. So I'm like, man, homecoming, especially my brother being at Fort Valley. I feel like my brother being at Fort Valley, real talk healed me because to a certain point where it's like I now can't run from some of the issues I ran into at Fort Valley. I can't be like, oh, I'm not gonna go to homecoming because this and that. My brother's there. So now I'm like, okay, if I see this person, I want to have a conversation and apologize or see where it's at. And if it gets to a point where it's like, it is where it is. That was a college thing. That is what it is. But if it's not, maybe that's the connection. Like that's how. Maybe that's just how I looked at it. But it's like for me, when I went to homecoming, I got the nourishment of you're doing a good job, you're doing this and that. But in a way, I also was looking like, man, if I see that person, we can have that conversation because at the very least, at the worst, my conscience is clear. At the best, we've reconnected. So that's sort of how I looked at it. Cause like I don't drink, I don't smoke. Fort Valley didn't have a concert. I mean, they had an off-campus concert, but the artist I wasn't interested in. But it's like, that was how I looked at it, kind of.
Yeah. And that's real, honestly. And even if like at homecoming, y'all do oh hey, how are you? Dap up, hug, whatever. And you want to circle back because this is something that you want to get off your chest or you feel like you want to reconnect. And if you follow them on social media, if you don't follow them on social media and they follow you back, you can hit them with a quick DM and say, "Hey, it was so good to see you at homecoming. I didn't think that homecoming was the perfect time to say this, but blah 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 blah. I want to apologize for whatever, or I want to, do that and the third, and I miss whatever your intentions are with the conversation. You know, hit them with, it was so good seeing you. I hope that we can reconnect, or I hope, we can talk soon. It don't, I feel like people, like, it don't have to be weird. You know what I'm saying? It really don't have to put so much pressure on yourself, especially like if you've done the inner work and you think about some stuff. And also for real, like, you have to take into account we're in college from like 18 to like 21, 22. Yes, we are adults, but our brains are so underdeveloped. What we think was adult and big time then, when you really are an adult, that was some little kid stuff. So maybe even at homecoming, on campus itself, because people having fun, sometimes it's not the appropriate place to have a heavy conversation. And even the conversation not even like itself has to be heavy, but it's still a conversation of substance that shouldn't be taken lightly, and that, should be given your undivided attention. So even like if you see this person at homecoming and something may have went down with y'all, and there's not some point where y'all really like hate each other, but y'all can be like, oh hey, you might can like hit them after the fact, like, hey, I saw you at homecoming, I wanted to speak to you, or even it was good seeing you, and then you can go into saying, oh, this is how I feel, I want to say this because whatever, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be this big thing. And something to keep in mind is like how they choose to respond has nothing to do with you. Whether they accept your apology, whether they say, oh, I'm sorry too, or whatever the case may be, and you move on. But it doesn't have to be this big thing. But homecoming, like I said, it's the perfect time to like reconnect, and you can go about it like in different ways. Because like I said, homecoming, it can be a time where people can have those conversations. Because two of my friends, like the last time I went to the SU homecoming, they had that whole heart to heart conversation, and I miss you and everything. They don't even speak again now. So it's just like, yeah, and the thing about it is like nothing happened after that. It just like it just it just wasn't meant to be. But they did have that in-depth conversation during homecoming, and it was cool. Like it was like how it wasn't when it was an undergrad. But like I said, homecoming does open up the door for reconnection and connection, period. But in your case, as someone who may feels like I want to reach out to this person, or I want to talk to this person, if you saw them at homecoming, you can send, like I said, a little message like, hey, I saw you at homecoming. I wanted to speak. They could have been busy doing whatever. Because, like, even with homecoming, like, I don't know how it is at Fort Valley, but I know, like, specifically at VSU for, like even like majors and like fraternities and sororities and stuff, they have like hospitality rooms like where they're like hosting like older members of the chapter, so they might be working, you know what I'm saying, so they might not be in the yard as much. So if it's something like someone that you like may not have seen like with your eyes, but you saw that they were like post that they were there, you could have been like, hey, I missed you at homecoming, I hope that I wanted to see you because I wanted to apologize. And then you can go about having that conversation. If they respond, they respond. If they don't, they don't. If they accept your apology, cool. Y'all reconnect, move on. Like, I really hate that we are in this like time where like connecting and like reconnecting with people is like frowned upon. Unless that person really was like did something that was like unforgivable. If it's something that could be talked about, especially with a clear view and a clear conscience, there's no reason why like you can't reconnect with the person. Honestly, that's just me.
That's real. And so that person I really do want to reconnect with, they were not at homecoming, but yeah, well, like I definitely want to have that conversation because I was my frontal lobe wasn't developed. Okay, I was 23 when this happened. My frontal lobe wasn't developed, and it was COVID, so like, I blame COVID too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Okay, that was that too. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about homecoming at HBCUs and just all the things that go on with it. I have Kiya Wimbush-Robinson in the building, HBCU Pulse and ClutchPoints writer, also Virginia State alumna and Norfolk State alumna. So Kiya, I want to let you know that I do have my stats for
Okay.
Saturday, October
Okay,
4th,
yeah.
2025. And here's the thing, okay? I made history. I made history because I've never been this close to closing all three of my rings. I've never been this close. I got really close. Okay, here are the stats. Okay, so my move goal was 400. My calorie goal was 470 calories. I was 669 calories over that. I think I burned a total of 3,253 calories. I exercised for 28 or 30 minutes. That was a walk. Okay. My stand goal, I hit my stand goal of 12 hours. I stood up 12 times, really more than that. But the goal, I hit the goal. So you ready for the steps? You ready for it?
Yeah.
I walk. My steps were 5,833 steps. I walked 2.65 miles. I climbed
Really?
2 flights of stairs. That was up and down the stairs at home. Okay, and that was that was that was, that was
Randall, you are so funny. You're hilarious.
well, wait. Not yet.
But wait, there's more.
There is. So I'm walking. We're walking to. We're walking to like the Wildcat Stadium, and we in a person's parking lot or their yard because we couldn't get to general admissions. Okay, so we're walking from that yard, and I say, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn on the exercise portion of my Apple Watch. This is exercise, and in that portion, I walk 0.60 miles. Okay, so I won some awards. Here are the awards: the October Challenge, the walking workout record, and the new exercise record. the new
You're so funny. You are so funny. But no, like if you really want to get some steps in, go to a HBCU homecoming. You're gonna do a couple laps. You have to keep walking because like there's not only are there like so many people to see, you gotta hit the tents because everyone got different food. Like me and my friends, like when we were like going to homecoming at VSU, we knew which tent had which things. So like my friend whose dad like has like a tent, like has a spot, we knew like he had fish. You know, we can sit there, we can chill, kick our feet up. But if we wanted food from other people, we knew the Q's had the chicken, had the barbecue, had the have the drinks, and then like the Alphas at the issue was real bougie, so they have like a whole bar set up. So like you want a good little drink, you go to the Alpha tent. You want some more good food, you go see the Sigma. So it's like you have to like really walk around because you're just sitting there like eating all day, eating and drinking all day.
What's so interesting is that I actually here's all I ate when I was there: popcorn, and I had a blue Powerade, which is my college favorite.
Hazel, you need to come do homecoming with me.
I mean, like,
You gonna eat good. You are going to eat good. Like even when I went to NSU's homecoming like last year, it's so funny. Like, and it's not even just what I love about like HBCUs in general is like so my like I said, my niece goes to Norfolk State now, and I told my niece, I was like, oh, like I'm hungry. And she was like, oh, my dad's friend has a tent over here with the football team. I'll see if I can get you some food. I said, okay, cool. So I told my friends, oh, I'm going with my niece. I'll be right back. I pull up to the tent. My brother and like my cousin on my dad's side that grew up like as brothers. And so they have the same friends. So my brother's friend that my niece was talking about was my cousin's best friend from like middle school that be at my cousin's house all the time. And I was like, what are you doing here? Because I forgot that he went to Norfolk State. So it's like, it's really not only like, oh, like meeting, like having like, you know, that moment like with another like alumni. This is like my family pretty much. So it's like, that's how really like homecoming can be. Even like last year, I met someone who had a tent. Their last name was Wimbush. Wimbush isn't a common last name. Found out we like cousins like way down the line. Got me another plate too. So you never know. When I tell you, like for me, HBCU homecoming time is like Thanksgiving. I don't eat nothing in the morning because I know when I get to that tailgate, I'm eat good. But yeah, Randall, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. You gotta have a plan. But yeah, like homecoming is just like such a great time. It really is a plan because you have to be strategic. I know, like especially at Norfolk State, because there's so many people, the cell service be trash. So like you and your friends be like, oh, this is our meeting place, because it's so easy to get lost. You have to go in with a game plan, because if you don't,
Powerade, okay. Let's not. It was blue. It was the blue Powerade. That is the drink. Oh yeah, for sure. Blue Powerade it is amazing. What I used to get when I go in the cafe, I go in that machine, boom, blue Powerade. You know what I mean? So that was blue Powerade. So all right, so it is time for the annual portion of our homecoming show. We first did this in 2022. So in 2022 on HBCU Pulse, I came up with the build your own concert exercise. And the reason why I came up with this exercise is because all these HBCUs were dropping their homecomings. And when it comes to HBCU Pulse, we cover the home, like all these HBCUs drop their homecoming concerts. So when it comes to HBCU Pulse, we want to cover their homecoming concerts. And a lot of people are like, oh, we want this artist, we want that artist. But a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to HBCUs, that there is a lot that goes into how homecoming artists are picked. So essentially, we wanted students to go through that exercise. If you're not in a part of CAB, you're not a part of SGA, we want you to know what goes into having a limited budget for some schools and being able to have access to certain artists that are willing to come and also that are able to come, because at state schools there's some restrictions. If you are a felon, oftentimes you cannot come on campus. That's just true. So
I
some
did not know
that's
that.
that and that's actually something that is very true. If you have a felony, most times it's hard for you to get on that state campus.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so for some artists that hampers them at certain points. So we want students to think about that. So we give them a very limited amount of money. So this year we did $6,000. Shout out to Croy and Kimani, who worked with HBCU Crows. Croy Hansen, Kimani champion. Kimani did the design. Croy and Kimani worked together to do the list of artists, because I was doing other stuff. And so the list of artists, I'm gonna try to read it. Okay. I'm going to try my best to read off all these people. Okay. And this might or might not make YouTube or Sirius XM, but we're gonna try. Okay. So $600,000, okay, to build your own homecoming concert, hypothetical. Okay. So in the $300,000 tier, Drake, Nicki Minaj, Future, SZA, Burna Boy, Cardi B, Chris Brown, Summer Walker. The 100,000 tier, Sexy Red, Gunna, Lotto, NBA YoungBoy, Young Thug, Asake. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Glorilla, Big X, The Plug. The 75,000 tier, Key Glock, Monaleo, Monaleo, right?
Mona Leo.
Mona Leo, because I like our new song. Mona Leo, Kaylani, G Herbo, Don Tolliver, Dochi, Tim's, and Bryson Tiller. The 50,000 tier, Mariah the Scientist, K Camp, Ice Spice, Young Nudie, Tyler, Callie,
Uchi.
Uchi, Callie Uchi, Callie Uchi.
No, not too much of my girl. It's so crazy. She's from where I live at.
Really?
I learned that this year. Not too much of my girl.
Okay, I just she a little bit new to me. Callie Uchi, okay. Leon Thomas, Low Shimmy is $50,000. So the $50,000 tier. $25,000. Aria Star, Destin Conrad, Lucky, YK Niece, Lil Tyler, Pluto, Cash Cobain, and Bunna B. So that is the artists that are a part of this exercise. So Kiya, who do you want to go first in your concert? Do you want me to go first or you to go first?
You can go first. Let me see what you hitting on. Let me see.
Okay. So the goal here for me was to not take the easy route, because the easy route, Drake, Chris Brown, boom. A lot of people take the easy route. I want to build out a homecoming that I think at the very least maybe Fort Valley will enjoy. Here's what I did, okay? And you can check my math, okay? $300,000, we did Drake, okay? Right, headliner. 100,000 NBA YoungBoy. 75,000 Bryson Tiller. 75,000 again Tim's. $50,000 K Camp.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me see. I got the calculator out. Math wasn't my forte. I'm not going to hold you. I'm very much a history and English girly. Math was not my forte. Who was the last person you said?
K Camp at $50,000.
Okay. Yeah, you're right on the 600 mark. Okay.
Yes.
And if you don't mind sharing why.
So I would like to do Drake, because Drake I think would be a good headliner, especially for an HBCU, and that's sort of possible because Drake did pop up at Howard University, popped up at Spellhouse in 2022, Howard University, back I believe that was 2012 or 2013. So I mean that's really possible for Drake one day to headline a big HBCU homecoming. NBA YoungBoy, Kiya, I was at the Clark Atlanta game with my dad and my brother. Every other song was an NBA YoungBoy song. So these students in this era, they love NBA YoungBoy. And I'm not a huge NBA YoungBoy fan for several reasons, okay? Because I heard his last album. There's some things I didn't like about that politically. However, you probably know what I'm talking about. When it comes to YoungBoy, I like some of YoungBoy's songs. I think YoungBoy is a good artist, and I think the students would really appreciate that. Bryson Tiller, that's my guy. Like, when it comes to Bryson Tiller, I'm a huge Bryson Tiller fan. I did not get the opportunity to actually meet him, but when Trap Soul dropped, I believe it was that week or like the week after, he came to Fort Valley for an event, and we were in there. He had on some Yeezys. We were in there. First time Yeezys in person. That's how I know he rich. So when that's how I know Kai. So when
you're so funny, says the person with the meta glasses. But hey, who am I?
Well, did I have them 10 years ago?
I ain't got meta glasses,
I didn't have them either 10 years ago, Kai. Like 10 years ago, I didn't have an iPhone 10 years ago. I had a Motorola.
Now today.
Yeah. So I've been locked in with Bryson Tiller since he came to Fort Valley back in 2015. And it's on my YouTube, my Randall Barnes YouTube. Type in when Bryson Tiller went to Fort Valley State University. I made it a big thing. It is not the best movie. I've done better. However, it was, I use Windows Movie Maker. So at least I'm not lying. He was there. It wasn't a lot of people. This before Bryson Tiller really blew up, but Bryson Tiller was there, and I did not know who Bryson Tiller was. And I'm like, I woke up that morning. It was like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and because it was the campus radio station event, Power Gems. It was their event, and I was a part of Power Gems. So I'm like, they got this dude Bryson Tiller coming. Let me see what's popping with him. I heard don't, and I got
Bryson Tiller.
I got the vision. So if and here's the thing, when it comes to Bryson Tiller, because people are like, come to homecoming, like back 2015. And he was like, oh, y'all homecoming lit? Like y'all lit? Like, because it was like our homecoming 2015 was on Halloween. He was like, he likes Halloween, different stuff. You feel what I'm saying? And of course, he wasn't coming back. Bryson Tiller costs money, so he wasn't coming back. We might have made Bryson Tiller money a little bit back then. You know what I'm saying? But we would have to take offerings at the concert. You know what I'm saying? To make sure he got his money. Like we had to take offerings at the concert. Like it was like pass the collection plate around to make sure Bryson Tiller made it out whole. But Bryson Tiller was a little bit interested in a way. He at least indulged us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We were there. So I will always be locked in with Bryson Tiller for that. Tim's, I want to make sure that we have some Black woman representation on this show. And with the budget that I had, I almost could not ensure that. But then I saw, and I was like, you know what? Tim's, I think, would be really great. And I like Tim's. Tim's is around our age. I like Tim's. She's really cool. And K Camp,
I like K Camp.
K Camp's the guy. Fun fact, Kiya, and I will keep this on YouTube. Hopefully, this does not mess up a future opportunity. I might be interviewing K Camp. I don't know. I might be. I did get the email. I might be. But in my mind, I would like to ask him about what happened with Prairie View. You remember what happened with Prairie View? You know.
I don't think I heard that.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cut so much. I'm gonna cut so much with this. Okay. K Camp was booked to be at Prairie View in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
How students are, they're like, "Hey, Camp, we don't."
I think I do remember that.
Yeah, that's true. This was fall 2019. This is my last semester, but our last semester because you graduated same day I graduated. So they were like, "We don't want K Camp." They're going crazy on Twitter. K Camp sees it.
I remember.
Yeah,
I do remember that now.
K Camp sees it and basically shuts it down. He's like, "I'm not going." And essentially, he pulls out. So not only does he pull out, he drops a homecoming song on Lil Baby's, not Lil Baby, but Da Baby's beat. I forgot what it was. It was the first song on that album that came out 2019. That was my jam back 2019. So like he like, because then that was like like the Baby don't really be rapping like deep stuff. That he was talking about how his dad had passed away, all different stuff like that. So K Camp took that beat and sort of the style and flipped it and dissed Prairie View in a semi-respectful way, then talked about how like he went through some real stuff. Like, you know, he's like I think his twin daughter had passed away. I think his grandmother passed away. It was like different stuff like that. And then he said, with his homecoming money, I'm a shop. I was like, and I knew people at Prairie View. I was asking, I was like, so did he keep the money?
You're messy. You're messy.
No one confirmed it for me. I guess I was a journalist that day.
But
I wanted to know Kiya because he said with his homecoming money, I'm a shop. And it's like, did he do it? Did he take it?
I too have a story of a artist saying, forget an HBCU, and unfortunately it's my HBCU. So I don't know how true this is, but this is a word around town that before Chris Brown was Chris Brown, he had a performance at Virginia State and the people wasn't feeling them. They wasn't feeling him. You know, this is before, like I said, this is before he was Chris Brown. He wasn't feeling them. I mean, the people wasn't feeling him. So he was like, all right, cool, bet. So we all know Chris Brown's infamous song, Look at Me Now, right? You know, with Busta Rhymes and Lil Wayne. If you pay attention to one of his outfits in the video, he is wearing a Virginia State University hoodie. Now, I don't know if that was on purpose or he was just trying to, you know, but that's a tall tale I heard when I was at, and I know you're looking it up right now because I can see the way that you're moving.
Look at you can look at the glasses. You can look at the glasses.
Yes.
The pockets. So I am looking this up.
That was a story that I was told to me and my friends. Like I said, I don't know how true it was about him coming and the people not feeling him before he blew up. But I will say him wearing the Virginia State University hoodie and Look at Me Now is a fact.
Okay, I wanted to say I am watching. I'm on my iPad. Okay, so I am because we gonna react to this live like this is like it's Twitch or whatever. Okay, we're gonna react to this because he's wearing a Mets jacket now. It's like a Mets jacket. He doing his dance moves. Okay, so I think he's doing his rap. We can't. I can't play it because they're gonna strike us down. Okay, he's now wearing a Dodgers jersey. I was assuming this is the LA Dodgers. I'm not a baseball fan. I'm not a baseball guy, Kiya. Okay, not a baseball guy. I'm trying to find the Virginia State. You said there's a hoodie?
Yeah, it's like a gray hoodie.
And hoodie.
I think I saw it like on.
Oh, a gray. Wait, you said it's a gray hoodie? I might see it.
Yeah, like a gray sweatshirt or a hoodie or something like that.
So wait, so is it like overtly Virginia State or is it like behind the jacket?
It's behind the jacket, but you can.
Oh, I think I see it. And wait, I think I see it. Was he in the cage? It was a point in time where he was in the cage with the mask on.
Yes.
Wait a minute. If I find it, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Wait a
Nah,
minute.
if you find it, see, you're being messy.
Oh no, I'm gonna put it on the screen.
You're being messy.
Wait, well, I can't really see. Wait, so what you're saying is this is the Virginia State?
Yeah, and if you can see the band, it's orange and blue on the band of the sweatshirt.
So you think he was this y'all? He was like,
Yeah,
look
but the
at
thing
me now,
about it
Virginia
is,
State.
I'm like, if I ever see him, like Chris, I won't there because I don't want to boo you. Like,
Oh,
you
wait.
saw, right? You
No,
saw,
wait. I might have because they did a
yeah.
wide shot. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a
If
minute.
you're really looking at this, Randall, you're being very messy right now.
How am I being?
You're being
I'm being a journalist right now. Yeah, it is. It is a Virginia State because he flashed it real quick because it's a point in time at 1 minute 2 seconds.
yeah.
Basically, like you got this guy walking with his legs on his shoulder. Okay, that's very interesting. He's very talented. Okay, that guy's very talented. So yeah, so we going through. He has the mess jacket on. Then yeah, so I got to figure out how I'm gonna get that at 1 minute and like 7 seconds. It really quickly flashes. He's in that cage. Yes, I see it. I see it. Hold up. I'm giving the play by play. Wait. I'm screenshotting right now for the people. This is it. This is it right here. Wow. Like he was this y'all here?
I guess I don't know. Like I
Y'all
said,
had him. Y'all had him in a cage, Kiya.
I don't know what they was doing because alleged, like I said, this before he was. You ever seen a game where she's like top Rick Fox? This was before he was
Yeah,
Chris Brown. That was before my time when I was at Virginia State. So I don't know what they was doing there.
yeah.
So this was my
That was the College Hill days, wasn't it? That might have been College
yeah.
Hill
This
days.
might have been when he was still like in Tappahannock, like trying to like. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, he probably will never come back to reduce it again. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there might have been a similar incident with the Migos at Virginia State too. I don't know. Virginia State's a tough crowd.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation
Virginia
about why
State
he
is a
can
tough
do that.
crowd. So, but yeah.
All right, so Kiya, so I'm excited to hear your lineup. So $600,000, you're building your own HBCU homecoming concert. What is your lineup?
Okay, before I start, is there any possibility I could borrow a couple of dollars? Because
I spent
I need
almost 600,000. I can't.
I need some more money because there's a couple of people that I really really want on here. Okay. So I'll start with the 300K. Chris Brown. He would be out of my 300K. It would be Chris Brown. Now, if we move on to the 100K, there's two people in the 100K that I want. But if I get both of them, I can get the other people I want on this list. So I'll do either or. For the 100K, I would either do Gunna or Lotto. Big fans of both of them.
So which one are you picking? You got to make a decision.
Oh my god, I'm stressed. I think I'm gonna go Lotto.
Right, okay.
I think I'm gonna go my girl Lotto. So we're going. That's what 400. So I got 200K left.
Yep.
So 75. Offer it, my girl Mona Leo. I am such a fan of hers. Love her down. Love her. Love her. Love her. So I have what 125 left, right?
Yes,
Right.
you have 475,000.
All right. So for the 50K, have to do my girl Mariah the Scientist. I need to cry. Need to cry during the concert a little bit. So how much do I have left?
So you're at 525,000 right now.
So I got 75 left. Okay, let me see. For 75, I'll do Key Glock.
Key Glock. So for 75, Key Glock. Okay.
There's someone, a person up here who I would like to see isn't on this list. But if he was up here, regardless of whatever amount, 21 Savage. 21 Savage actually came to VSU for Homecoming. Great show.
But Kai, I do like your lineup. I feel like there's a lot of good your lineup. You like my lineup, Kai? I thought my lineup was cool.
I do like your lineup. I love Tim's. You got K Camp, Tim's, Drake. Who else?
NBA Youngboy.
NBA Youngboy. I know a couple of NBA Youngboy songs. If anything, I would definitely be there for like Tim's and K Camp for real, for real.
Would you
Like I
leave when
know
NBA Youngboy came? Would you leave?
I wouldn't leave because I've seen videos of his concerts. It's pretty lit, but I'm not like a fan.
Okay.
I know like I can count on one hand how many NBA Youngboy songs I know. So
there's like a couple, but I just think that like you wanna, cause there's so many other ways I would have went with it, but just like if I was doing a concert, that's what I think would be great. But I think that when you look at it, it's just like when you have a limited budget, it's hard to put together a concert. And that's what people have to look at when it comes to these SGAs, CAB, or like the campus activity body at your institution, and even just like the budget that you have. Like you, when it comes to homecoming, it's just not about the artist. It's not about the celebrity coming. It's more so about the experience. And I think that puts a bow on this whole entire thing. Like, you're never too old to go to homecoming. You connecting with your people, is always a great thing, even though sometimes you want deeper connection. And you just gotta be happy with what you have. You have a concert, I think that you should be happy. You can say what you want to say about it, but be happy, and I think that this exercise helps people understand it. And it also makes people haters because they're like, oh, why you got this person so low? Oh, it's not the real price. Yes, it's not the real price. Okay. It's an activity. Okay. It is it's an activity. Okay. Like it's like literally this is a concept we came up from basketball. Okay. Shout out to ClutchPoints. This is a concept from basketball. They'll do like you got $5, like build your starting five. They'll have like LeBron at number 5, Anthony Davis number 4. Literally, that's what the thing is. People were like, "This ain't Drake's real price." I'm like, delete. Like, I'm like, no, it's not Drake's real price. No. Have you seen Drake in any HBCUs the way it wasn't a surprise? The surprise is either we can afford Drake or Drake came for free. So no, that's not Drake's real price.
so funny.
Yeah, you want to know. So I forgot about this, Kai. I'll say this and we'll go. FLY, Swag Surfing. The guys made Swag Surfing. They were at the concert too. So we had QT Jazz, we had Brother Haitian, we had FLY, we had Joe Gifted, who made the song. Have you heard Water? Okay. That song was on the radio a lot in 2017. I will sing you that song as well. It's actually a real nice song. And we had Lucci that was the headliner. So I want to talk because this is gonna make the Sirius XM show because I have to speak my truth. This is my story. Okay. So I was real big on social media, especially Twitter, back when I was at Fort Valley. That was like my version of student leadership. People knew if they needed something, they go to my Twitter and they follow me, all this different stuff. So I'm trying to promote the concert low key, even though that wasn't really my job. I'm trying to promote the concert. So we knew Lucci was coming, we knew FLY was coming. So, at HBCU events, you do swag surfing. So at the homecoming kickoff that Monday in our HPE complex, they do swag surfing. And I film it. I say, and I quote, biggest swag surf ever. I don't care. FLY is going to be at our homecoming, whatever. Now, Kiya, get this. I said biggest swag surf ever. I don't care. In that context, that means that that's not the biggest swag surf ever. There's this guy, I think now it was DP the MC, and he follows posts. That's my guy. We laughed about it a couple years ago. He like was like biggest swag surf ever. He like called out our swag. So I'm like, bro, I'm just playing, man. Like, come on, it's not a big swag surf ever. Because I'm a rational person. Like, it's not a big swag surf ever. So he was like, man, it's all good, man. But it's like then people from North Carolina A&T, Winston-Salem, Elizabeth City, all these different schools was like, what is Fort Valley? Biggest swag surf. I Googled Fort Valley. We don't know what Fort Valley is. And it started this homecoming Twitter beef that was almost like if like with wrestling, like you cut a promo or you do an event that makes you want to buy the pay-per-view or watch the PLE. Now we say that was the moment people were rallying for Fort Valley. They love Fort Valley. That it was something I was like, "Ren, you always get us in these Twitter fights." I'm like, I literally didn't do anything. I just was saying that, hey, this is everyone. This the kicker is this. FLY got mad at DP because they were like hosts who think they can do something with the wave. DP said, I make a bigger impact with the song than you. I'm the creator now. Like, because I said, y'all mad, we got FLY, and then DP was like, no one wants them. And then they said what they said. He said, well, I make more with the song than you, so I'm the creator now. I see FLY backstage because I was part of the campus radio station. So I got in free twice because I'm with SGA with the campus radio station. So I got in free twice. So I meet QT Jazz, like, boom, boom. But I see FLY. I'm like, hey, man, I'm the guy from Twitter. Oh, yeah, man. I'm like, hey, man, I apologize for what happened, man. It's like, man, we ain't worried about them. We ain't worried about that. So that is my home. That is my story. I promise you, true story.
Randall, you are a troublemaker. I follow you on Twitter now, and I be watching. I be watching it. Y'all, Randall is a troublemaker. Don't let the glasses in the mouth fool y'all. Randall is a troublemaker. And you can quote me on that.
I think some people will. I think because Kiya, like I didn't follow Kiya and I didn't follow each other on Twitter, but it was one day. We're not gonna mention what it was for. But you don't remember? You followed me on Twitter. You texted me.
Oh yes, because I was like, I don't even remember what you were talking about. But
okay, I'll say it and I'll cut it out. I might not. When I said the black conservatives that like they clowns, yeah, and I'm mad. Yeah.
I was reading it and I was like, oh yeah, he lucky kind of spitting. And I saw the picture. I said, this is Randall. I was like, Randall, that's you on the tweet going back and forth. And that's when we started following each other.
They were going wild at me. They took that picture that I have up as literally from 2018. He's fat. And I'm like, you know what? I might be, but like, like I don't know. I might be, but guess what? 5,000 steps at homecoming. How about you?
You know what? Thank you guys for coming. We've had a ball. Because Randall, I think it's time. Because you are so I can't with you.
But Kiya, that is it for the show on today. I think we talked about homecoming really in a holistic way. Where can we find you on social media, and how can we read your articles?
Well, you can find me on social media, Instagram, X, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube at Kiya on Fire, with 3 A's on Kiya and 3 A's on Fire. And you can also read my articles at ClutchPoints and the HBCU Pulse.com.